What's up, guys? Nothing is perfect, right? So today I want to talk about the holes in your garage insurance policy, the things that usually gets missed or overlooked, and what you can do about it. Okay, so the first hole doesn't really seem like a hole because you probably assume that people either have this covered or don't need it. But the fact of the matter is, commercial auto insurance or business auto is one of the biggest holes that we find in garage insurance. Now the reason is this: people think they can get away with using personal vehicles for business purposes. You may think, well, I'm covered, right? I mean, I've got my business car, I've got my truck, and I use it for business, I'm good. But if you're one of the people that has a personal weighted truck and you use it to haul things for your business on a regular basis, or if you use a personal vehicle to give to someone to use for business purposes, things like deliveries, or maybe you're fixing a car for someone and you loan your own vehicle for them to drive for a while, that is a big no-no, because what that means is that you are now personally at risk. If there's an accident or something happens while your personal vehicle is performing business tasks, that claim is probably going to get rejected. It's going to get denied. And that means you are going to have to pay out of pocket for something that should be covered if you went ahead and had that business auto policy. So we find this all the time. It's a big gap, it's a big hole if you don't have commercial auto coverage. So make sure you talk to your agent about this and you're not trying to save a few bucks a month by skipping on this massively important coverage. Okay, the second thing is kind of a theme that I go to a lot, and that is probably the biggest risk you have in your business is from your own employees. Now, usually I talk about things like workers' comp insurance, but today I'm going to be talking about employment practices liability. What this is I'm talking about if your employees sue you for things like wrongful termination, sexual harassment, or something else like that, something regarding their employment and the way that they interact with you. They feel wronged, they take you to court. This is so common, and I actually have a whole other blog about this, but this is so common that 60% of businesses have faced a lawsuit like this in the last 5 years. And newsflash, it's not always in your garage insurance policy. So you need to make sure that it's there because this is a big gap in coverage. Like I said, this has happened to 60% of people in the last 5 years. Odds are you know someone who've had an employee sue them. This is one of those big holes in your garage insurance policy. So you need to make sure you are covered. All right, the third and last one I'm going to talk about here is excess liability coverage. The reason I say this is a hole in your policy is because nowadays lawsuits can go for millions of dollars. You may have $1 million of liability coverage and you think, my gosh, that's so much. I'm way covered no matter what happens to me. But the fact of the matter is, one single lawsuit can wipe all of that out in no time. And I have some examples in the blog that goes along with this video, so feel free to look at that. Like I said, one thing can go through $1 million in no time. So you need to make sure you have extra coverage. Now, excess liability sounds like it's excess, like you don't need it, but it's not. It's extra. It's super liability. Think of it like that. So what that means is it goes on top of your regular general liability or garage liability policy. It sits on top of there. So when you use that $1 million or whatever it is, this starts to take over. So you can have $1 to $5 million. In fact, you can probably have a lot more than that sitting on top of your policy to make sure that if something really bad happens, then you are going to be covered and your business is going to be safe. Because if that $1 million is wiped out, you don't have excess liability coverage, then what's going to happen is you are going to have to pay out of pocket. And that is the entire goal of insurance, to make sure that doesn't happen. Look into excess liability coverage and see if that's something you need. Okay, so those are the three most common holes we find in garage insurance. But what can you do about it? You probably know what I'm going to say. You need to speak with someone, either your own agent or someone here at Alliance Insurance. So part of what we do here at Alliance is We do not tell you you need to buy something if you don't need to buy it. Now, I know that sounds hilarious, right? You're gonna think all insurance agents are sales guys. They're going to be telling me I need to buy something. That's just part of the deal. But it's simply not the way we work. So what we are going to do is we're gonna look at your policy, we're gonna look at your business, and we're gonna look at these 3 holes I just talked about. And we're gonna let you know if you need to cover these holes. That's the way we work. That's why you need to speak to a garage insurance expert here at Alliance. So go ahead and click on the link below. Go ahead and set aside a time to talk to someone who can really look over and give you personalized attention and show you how you can be protected even from these 3 big holes that I just went over. So that's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.